I kid you not. So they have the one car that she moved on to has suicide doors, right? They open up like that, and she goes to close it. It doesn't close immediately. It's an older car. She goes, wham! It doesn't close. It comes back at her. She just goes, wham, wham, like 3 times. And listen, it was just one of those things where I'm like, you're just in shock. I'm like, what am I witnessing right now?
I probably would have started crying. I would have been like, no, please stop.
Well, you know what? So I actually brought Katie with me to host because I told her I'm like, I just stay up here. I gave her one of my KW shirts. I'm like, just say you're my assistant if somebody comes in, whatever. And I come back up because she was in the main house, and she goes, you look white as a ghost. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And she's like, what happened? I told her, she's like, no, those little old ladies. I'm like, yeah.
It's
She
always
just,
the little old ladies.
I'm like, this woman just all of a sudden was like, yo, I want to relive American graffiti and go. sorry.
Oh my gosh.
It was a
That's
trip, man.
weird. You will remember that forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Forever. Oh man. Sorry I missed that.
I'm sorry you missed it too. It was a hoot.
Ellie, you look sunburned.
I'm not. It's just the lighting in this room.
Gotcha. Hello, my people.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so
morning.
I'm still working on the coloring and the formatting or whatever, but we've got our percentages in here, and I think this is going to start getting super fun.
You did so good. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Percentages are my jam.
Can I help you?
Okay. All right. So,
Good.
what we've got here, obviously starting on August the 7th, is we have 1,695 active listings. That is close to 14% below last year. I love these numbers. I love. We can start saying 13 and a half, 14, whatever you want to look at. My question to you is, do you want to see the whole percentage, or do you want me to round up, round down and keep it a round number? What are your thoughts?
I don't care either. It's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there you go. That's fine.
Bam.
Okay.
Easy.
I thought you said that his initials were on the paper.
Okay. There we go. All right. Listings the last 7 days. Like, these are some serious numbers for your sellers and your buyers. 23% down from last year at 255 of new listings. 23%. 23%. This is getting a little bit, starting to even out a little bit. 1% down of pendings, which I think is interesting. What does that number tell us? If we have fewer active listings, 23% fewer in the listings in the last 7 days over last year, and only 1% difference in pendings. What does it tell you?
What is the real report? Did it hit
That not all of these new listings are flying,
because that'll determine who,
right? This is an interesting concept to be talking to your sellers about. I've got one right now that's about to make me lose my mind, thinking that, they can ask for what they want to ask for. Buyers are smart. They are tired, and they're doing their homework. So, something to be thinking about. Okay. So last week we were 20% down in total sold listings. And now we're 8% up. So I zipped up here to just see. So we had this huge close number the week of August 1st last year, and then it went down substantially the next week. That's telling us we're probably hitting a little bit of a trend, seeing this kind of taper off a little bit in closings, because we didn't see a lot of listings in July. The beginning of July. So we're just going to see this taper off. I just vaguely remember things going up, into September. Let's see. Maybe not. Look at this. So it got lower here in August that's active listings, new listings. So it popped back up mid-September to early August numbers. So that'll be interesting to watch. Sorry, bopping around there. So yeah, total sold 8% up over last year. I didn't do averages on all of these. Some of these to me just kind of make more sense, but again, I can add them in here if we want. Average days on market, 35 this week. The average since the beginning of August is 43. So we're still below average of days on market. Average price, there was a couple of $1 million that sold. That's why we're seeing a little pop up here at 332. Number of price reductions, it's not a ton, 13 more over last week, but the number 206 and 193, those are not big numbers. We're not talking like in the thousands. So 10, 15 in that amount of total price reductions, that's a decent percentage up. So we are starting to see properties, sellers, have to do some reductions. We see a small reduction here, almost 1% below the sales price to list price ratio, which is interesting. This makes sense when you're seeing this number pop up, that this sales price to list price probably going down. Number of expireds popping up there, a few more folks into the MLS, and then this. Beastie. I think I didn't do a ton of research last week, but CNN popped up as an alert on my phone when I was in a viewing last week that the Fed increased rates again. So I think we're just seeing the kind of down trickle here for them to finally have it hit mortgage rates. But that's a substantial difference over last week. How many of you guys think we're going to see 8 by Christmas?
Yeah, I feel good about that.
I feel good about that too. It was last year, this time, well, actually it was in May of last year that we were having conversations. It was not because we weren't tracking here, but we were having conversations in the market center about, wow, do you think we'll see 5 in August?
Yeah.
And we were at 5.5. And so let's see, by Christmas, we were at 6.85. So over 1%, 1.25, 1.3% up. So if it's trending that way, I don't know. I just don't think the way the other areas of the economy are looking, it doesn't make sense to keep jacking with this number as we head into the holidays. So will be really interesting to watch this. I will play around with this format so it won't look so janky with these green boxes, but 14% fewer active listings overall over last year. 23% too as well, just in the last 7 days. Interesting numbers. All right.
I thought average price this year over last year was very interesting. I computed to be about 14% increase. And it seems like our average prices have been staying up a little bit.
So it is up from August of last year, the beginning, but look at it. It's at 332 in mid-August and we're there.
Yeah.
We're there. I'm curious, like I wouldn't even begin to know, like it's kind of like a weird niche, the luxury market. But I think it's interesting and that's why I keep referencing it. I do take a peek when I hit those solds. I do a, let me see if I can find it here.
What I find interesting, and this is, maybe I'm very wrong because I haven't paid enough attention, but from just what I've observed as the rates have gone up and slowings have gone down, what I've observed, it hasn't impacted as much that luxury, which is why when we're talking, like, that's a different conversation to them. That's 6% interest rate. They're not the people that are running out to buy at 2%, right? So that's
how many of these are cash?
They're going to stay.
I'm seeing cash in the millions. Yes.
Yeah. So that's just such an interesting point. Like who we're talking to, it matters.
1.69 cash.
Goals, baby. Goals.
You're not messing around. And this is where the haves and the have-nots in this kind of economy during COVID, the haves and the have-nots. And we could get all into what does that mean? But this is like, I don't feel like this is a conversation all the time that you'd be having with your clients. But as an industry, how does this look for people that are scraping and trying to get by with student loans and whatever, like trying to get into that? Like the people with cash are legitimately going to see exponential growth in their assets, their portfolio or whatever, because they can buy cash and then they can do these low interest personal loan, blah, 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 blah. Let's look at this next one. There's a conventional at 1.5. Cash 1.5. I had clients looking in this range, but they were physicians and they had a physician's loan and they kept losing out to cash. And they're like, who the hell? Look at that 1.15 cash. I'm telling you, it is the haves and the have-nots. But here is that, 6 in the 1+ million, this one even close, and Point Breeze in the 1 million range. That's why we're seeing that weird little tick. But Allie, you're 100% correct.
Will you click on that one in Point Breeze? That's the list price. I want to see what happened to it with the sold.
That was $995. It sold cash for $940. 2 days.
Yep.
And so when we look at this, when we're talking to our clients about this, we're like, okay, we have no idea what the original offer was. Let's look here. It doesn't say multiple offers. Sometimes it will, and that'll give you an indication, but you have no idea. It's cash. So granted, there probably was not an appraisal, but you have no idea what the inspections revealed on a property that was built in 1965. Did that price go down due to a roof or whatever? Or was that within 2 days of going off the market? I highly doubt the offer was $940.
That sold price to me indicates like, oh, some sort of roofer or something came in with a specific estimate. They're like, we're gonna take this exact amount off.
Yeah. Or like with a house that age, you're probably looking at maybe some knob and tube.
Yeah.
Oh, she's pretty. Yeah. And it looks
It
like
reminds me of that one that your people had, Jennifer. I can't remember their names. Len, was that his name?
Len Garfine. Wait, no.
The husband and wife, the older couple, they had the bird. That's what that house reminded me of.
Oh, yes.
But you don't know, like maybe
Lolly and Dave.
Lolly. I knew it was an interesting L.
Yeah. That mid sentence.
Maybe, water in the like French drain or whatever, but
yeah. I just think I really love just looking at these numbers. I read somewhere that like one market center somewhere has like an economist that's like related to the TL or something like that. And they come in like once a month, like they track this weekly, but they come in like once a month and really do a deep dive. Like, what do these numbers mean? And what is it telling us? I think we're doing a pretty good job, although I would love to hear the, opinion of an economist to look at these numbers and go, what is it? What is it really telling us? But again, I think that we're observant enough because we're coming every week and we're looking at these. We're just seeing the trends. So, I want to look here at the graphs. So we're seeing a decline in new pendings. We're seeing an uptick in a new listings, just a smidge, and total closings going down. A little uptick in average days on market, and just a little small increase in total active listings by week. I don't know. That's the original one. I started a new one because I didn't want to mess up my original graph. So I'll move this over once I figure it all out. And I didn't want it to mess with my little pretty pictures, my little graphs. Anywho, interesting numbers. Be telling these stories right here. Be telling these stories.
Mm-hmm.
We're down.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any questions? Anything else going on?
No.
All right. Love seeing y'all.